Figured I'd forget to do one thing before I started. Anyway. Hello. Right, had my guide so I don't miss any fucking stuff. This side quest infested disc. To just make things easier on myself because I want to do it all anyway. I don't want to spend weeks here searching every single nook and cranny again and again and again when I get an item, which you get the basic idea. Anyway, there's some immediate cleanup we can do. Where? This side quest that we picked up and didn't do because I couldn't be bothered. What is it I gotta leave alive? Should actually formation as well, shouldn't I? Let me swapped out with imagery. You can be swapped out with Seth. You can be swapped out with Sed. You can be swapped out with Sarah. That works better because I can actually earn skills this way. Speaking of, review. Keep Tantal on you for now. Don't really need anti-poison for now. Think, said. That frickin' double SP. Already learning it. You have that. You need it, you have that. You don't really need it. But you don't need it at all. Why the hell did you have that? Okay. Why not? Here. Stop fragment. Night earring. Waken imprisoned. That's an important one for everyone. Right. The heck of a blizzard blowing over there. I don't want us going through that again for no reason. Okay. Gaia Plus foes? Gaia Plus foes? Gaia Plus foes? And these guys. Done that, boss. Oh, nice to see you. Right, you're all dying now. Safe and Sarah. Do. Go to be an equip. And the wisdom. I love being overleveled. Shame it won't last.
What? Hey, not bad for a young punk.
Climbing, Sarah. Climbing, Sarah. Climbing, Sarah. Was that bad? Probably learn through accessories as well and speed things up immensely. Refugee camp. Ah, it's you. Say, is that the claw of Don Laplos? Oh, thank you. I'm thoroughly impressed that you actually defeated him. You saved the lives of all the refugees here. Thank you so much. Here's the reward that we promised. I should probably do those things more. Cook. Yep, I have 2 of them. I have 1 more of them for Sarah. That actually worked out really well. Probably switch over before the battle, but whatever. Is there anything else here, out of question? See, chests I would have got. I'm meant to have 80 pippets here? Oh my god, I have not been finding these goddamn things. Trading items. And a treasure hunt. Apparently a memory. God, I dread to think how many treasure hunts I've missed. The village closet to heaven. In this village, ringed by jagged mountains, the women give birth to many children. 5 or 6 is not uncommon. Just the other day, the wife of the village headman gave birth to her 10th child. And why do you think that is? The young fellow asked the traveller, looking down at the snow-blanketed villages. Chaim cocks his head in search of an answer. Meanwhile, the young man takes something like a piece of crystal candy from a small leather pouch. He pops it into his mouth and says with a laugh, "Because they die right away." The children? Uh-huh. Hardly anybody grows up to be an adult. Most kids die after 5 or 6 short summers. Look at the village headman's wife. She's lost 7 kids already. Whether from a genetic problem or a disease endemic to the area, the people of this village have always lived short lives, he says, from way back. Blech. Now that you mention it, Chaim says, I haven't seen any old people here. See what I mean? A few decades ago, I'm told, one person lived to be 50, but people say that's the oldest anyone ever got in the whole history of the village. This is why we give birth to lots of kids. Give birth to a lot and lose a lot. If just one of them lives into adulthood, though, the family line is saved and the village history continues. You see my point? The young man is 16, as is his wife. Their first child is due to be born any day now. Literally today or tomorrow. The young man crunches down on the candy in his mouth. Let's get going, he says, and around his wrists, he winds the rope he uses to pull the sled. He hasn't loaded the sledge yet, but dragging it up the steep, snow-covered road is hard work. This, he says, is why the pay is so good. Only a few days earlier he lost his good friend and fellow worker, who had been 3 years his senior. When Kime happened along, the young man asked him if he would help by pushing the sled from behind until they cleared the pass. Kime agreed, and they became an instant team. Kime circles around to the back of the sled and asks, "You don't have any animals to pull the sled?" "Right not," says the young man. "I know it's strange, but our horses and cattle and donkeys all die young. You can spend a lot of money at the town market buying an animal, and it'll keel over before it's done a lick of work. Finally, the best way is for us humans to plough the fields and pull the sleds ourselves." The arms with which the young man himself is pulling his sled are massive, and he forges through the road's snowy cover with powerful steps. His fellow worker was stronger still, he says. "He taught me how to pull the sled, how to set rabbit traps, how to build a fire, all the skills I need to live, with all the love he would give to a kid brother. Before I knew it, he was gone." People here always die suddenly, he says. "They can be perfectly healthy one minute and drop dead the next. No time for suffering, just like that. No time to call a doctor. Even if a doctor comes, there's nothing he can do." "Did your friend die that way?" He was shoveling the snow that piled up overnight, clearing the road, when he dropped dead. By the time we ran over to help him, he was gone. That's how it always is. Always. That's how they die. Grown up, kids, everyone." "And you too, then?" "I guess so. Nobody knows when the moment is coming. It might be decades from now, or it could be tomorrow." After this cool pronouncement, the young man turns to look at Kime and, pointing to his own chest, says with a smile, "Or maybe even now." The smile is genuine, without a hint of despair or bitterness towards the cruelty of his fate. "Aren't you afraid to die?" Kime starts to ask him, but stops himself. It's a stupid question, he decides, and one that he is not qualified to ask. Where could a man burdened with eternal life find appropriate words to speak to a man burdened with the threat of a sudden death? Kime and the young man keep dragging the sled up the steep mountain path. Their destination is the lake beyond the pass. The young man's job calls for him to cut ice from the surface of the frozen lake and transport it back to the village. But we in the village call the lake the Spring of Life. If you trace the source of the water that bubbles out of the ground here and there in the village, you always wind up at the Spring of Life. Kime nods silently. The ice from the Spring of Life takes forever to melt. That's why... Look, you can even do this. Again, the young man takes a piece of the crystal candy, or rather ice, from his leather pouch, and puts it in his mouth. Gives you energy. It's indispensable when doing hard work, or for a pregnant woman, or infants. Just put a piece in your mouth and it gives you instant strength. I think I know why they're dying. The young man offers a piece to Kime, who nods again in silence. "We're really not supposed to give any to outsiders, but you're special because I'm putting you to work. I give it to you, though. I want you to help me load the ice on the sled. I can handle it by myself on the way back." Kime silently accepts the ice from the young man, who assures him, "Tastes good too," and watches him, smiling. Kime averts his gaze somewhat and puts the piece in his mouth. The ice should be nothing but frozen water, but it has a mild sweetness, just as Kime expected. He spits it out when the young man is not looking. Poison, I know that taste, thinks Kime. The village people are used to this taste, so they think nothing of it. Without a doubt, though, there is poison in the ice. The long flow of time smooths over the wounds inflicted by history. The permanently snow-capped peaks make people forget the existence of the wide world on the other side. The young man calls this lake the Spring of Life, but those who lived far beyond the mountains, at the source of the river that feeds the lake, used to know it as the Pit of Death. Long, long ago, several hundred years ago, The entire area around the river's source was polluted with the poisonous metallic outflow from a mine. The river was filled with dead fish floating belly up, and the poisonous gas that rose like a mist from the ground killed both the earthbound animals and the birds in the sky. The forest withered, and the lively town that had grown up with the development of the mine became a deserted ruin. Nature took many years to recover, but the forests eventually turned green again, which attracted small animals and eventually the larger animals that hunted them. People, however, never came back, and there was no one left to hand down the story of the tragedy that occurred at the river's source deep in the mountains. The only one who knows everything that happened is Kime, the man who has lived 1,000 years. The young man stands by the frozen lake and takes a nice, satisfying stretch. "You know," he says to the traveller, "I sometimes think this village just might be the closest one to heaven in the whole world. Perhaps it's because we are too close to heaven that we are summoned by the gods early on. Don't you think that might be true?" Kime says nothing in response to this. Over many years, this lake has accumulated the metallic poison that flowed into it from the upstream, and over many years the poison that infiltrated the soil has mingled with the groundwater, bubbling up in the spring water, with which the villagers slake their thirst. No one knows the exact chemical makeup of the poison, but at least it does not cause the villagers to suffer until, at the last moment of their lives, the accumulated poison suddenly takes its toll. This may be one of its fortunate aspects. On the other hand, this might simply make the misfortune it brings all the more conspicuous. "Still," the young man says as he saws off a piece of ice by the shore, "I do hope that the children my wife and I have will be able to live longer lives. Say, if we have 5, at least one of them will live long enough to grow up and have kids. That way for me it would be like finding some meaning in having been born into this world. It was the same with my father and mother, and my grandparents. They all had lots of kids and mourned the loss of lots of kids, but managed to raise 1 or 2 to adulthood before they died. That's what gives our life meaning." He wipes the sweat from his brow and puts another piece of ice candy in his mouth. "If I were to tell him everything I know," thinks Kime, "if I were to tell him everything that has been buried in the darkness of history, and if he were to tell the other villagers, tragedy might not have to be repeated." The young man says, "When a baby is born here, they ring the village bell. Also when someone dies. Same for both. Birth and death are like 2 sides of the same coin. So there's no sadness when someone dies. Everybody sees them off with a smile and a wish. You go ahead of us to heaven and save a good spot there for us. Do you understand that sentiment?" "I do," says Kime. "I do. That's how we've always done it. Welcoming lots of new lives to the village and sending lots of lives off to heaven. I've never been much of a student, so I don't know exactly how to put this. But I kind of think that maybe the village closest to heaven is a place where life and death are right next door to each other." The young man gives Kime an embarrassed smile at the sound of his own words. Maybe it's because I'm about to have a kid of my own that I'm starting to think about these complicated things." "No, that's fine. I see exactly what you mean," Kime says. The moment the words leave his mouth, a bell sounds from the foot of a hill. Several long, slow rings. "That's it," exclaims the young man. "My child has been born." He dips his head and says again, as if savouring the sound of his own words, "My child." While the bell is rung likewise for births and deaths, the young man says the sound in each case is subtly different. When a young villager learns to tell the 2 apart, he or she is considered to be an adult. "I hope this one lives a long time," the young man says, choking with the flood of emotions that show on his face. But then he goes on as if to negate his own hopes for the future. "Either way, whether it lives a long time or not, my child has now been born into this world. That's all that matters. I'm so happy." Eyes full of tears, he turns a beatific smile on Kime, and then, still smiling, he collapses where he stands. Kime lays the young man's corpse on the sled and returns to the village. As the young man said, the villagers accept his death with the same smile they had for the birth of his baby. Death is not a time for sorrow. It simply marks whether one has been called to heaven earlier or later. The young man's wife takes an ice candy from the leather pouch he has left behind and places it gently into the baby's mouth. "I want you to grow up to be strong and healthy," she says. "Daddy is saving a wonderful place for you up in heaven. But go there slowly, slowly, and until you go to heaven, I want you to grow up here in the village till you're nice and big." Her words have the gentle tone of a lullaby. Kime says nothing. If he is to stand unflinchingly for what is right, his silence may be a crime. But burdened with eternal life, Kime knows how... Why was that automatic? Ugh! The baby starts to cry, its loud wailing like a celebration of the beginning of its own life. However short that life is likely to be, Kime leaves the village with a smile on his face. The village bell begins to peal, reverberating with utter clarity through the distant mountains, as if to bestow a blessing on the young man who lived life to the fullest, with neither resentment nor regret. And when this too long life of mine draws to a close, Kime thinks, I'd like to be sent off with the sound of bells, like this, if possible. Because he knows that day will never come. Kime walks on, never stopping, never looking back. His long journey is far from over. The end. This tent is for the sick and injured. You can visit whomever you like, but just keep it quiet, alright? Yeah, I am way behind on the seeds. So, you're the ones who eradicated the monsters. Well, thank you. That is such a relief. Hey, did you really come back here with the monster's claw? Wow, you took care of them all? I'm so lucky I made it here. This place seems like an old Gotsan army base. It's quite sturdy. There's even a hot spring to fend off the cold. Neat, don't you think? Speaking of which, did you hear about the box of army supplies? Fell into the spring as everyone was running in here. Most of the contents have been brought up, but maybe there's still some stuff left in the water. I'd like to try looking once I get better. Is there any truth to what I heard about Gotsa being destroyed? Thought I was going to die there for a moment. Is that a treasure tip? Where do I see the treasure tips again? Those treasures. An item at the hot spring. Yes. Okay. Spire Commander. This one maybe? Is there anything else here? Spy Commander, Spy Ring.
What are you up to?
Quests, exploring. that sort of stuff. This is really just the start of disc 4, so... Oh, I won't get any food if I can't make it to the distribution.
Oh, what is the matter?
I hurt my leg while fleeing here. They're going to be distributing food shortly, but I won't be able to make it like this. Oh, you'll go get food for me? Thank you. My, you're so kind for me.
Come and get it, everyone. Food's ready.
Wasn't even what I was looking for. Other memory? Really? Gonna give me the title verse this time again, eh?
The waterfall lies deep in the forest, more than a day's travel from the nearest village. It is said to be a holy place. In search of the divine amid the towering peaks, pilgrims stand beneath the plunging falls in their final ascetic practice. The water at the falls is freezing cold. All it takes is a momentary lapse of concentration, and the person is hammered down by the rushing water.
Stones of Heaven.
The pilgrims call this waterfall the Stones of Heaven. Heaven is testing their mental and physical strength, they say, by hurling an endless stream of stones down upon them in the form of the powerful waterfall. And the stones have a mysterious power.
And the stones have a mysterious power.
A former pilgrim says to Kime, with a pained smile. He himself failed in his final austerity, he adds.
Different stones of heaven fall on each person. It's as if they can see into your heart.
What do you mean? Kime asks.
The burdens you bore and the dreams you dreamed in the secular world appear to you one after another.
In his own case, he says, what came to him first were the voices of women.
The water plunged down into the basin of the falls, began to sound like women's voices, sweet voices whispering in my ears, voices sobbing, voices moaning in a lover's embrace. An incredible variety, and for better or worse, I knew every single one of them. Some I was thrilled to hear again, while others I hated remembering.
Meaning you've gotten yourself into a lot of trouble involving women.
I have indeed. Not to boast or anything, but there was one battlefield I knew better than anybody. I survived, but I made a lot of women cry, and there were a lot of them I loved. My whole purpose in undertaking the austerities was to put that life behind me, that the stones of heaven know what they are doing, and in the final test, they go after your greatest weakness. If you waver the slightest bit, you've had it. The water slams you down and your austerities are over.
The man feeds a stick of kindling into the campfire.
And I'm not the only one, he continues. One fellow heard the voice of the mother he hadn't seen since he was a little boy. Another heard the voice of his dead child.
Is it always voices?
I wish it were. If you hold up through the voices, the waterfall's mist starts changing into the shapes of people. You might see somebody whom you hated so much in the secular world that you wanted to kill him, or it might be some loan shark you had to go into hiding to get away from. One little flinch, and you're done for.
This particular austerity can be performed only once. There are no second chances. Someone who has preserved for a whole day and night, but who fails in the end, has no choice but to return to the secular world in defeat, as this man did.
Not that it was easy for me to get on my feet again once I was back there either.
The man chuckles and calls out to a young pilgrim, or more precisely, to a young man who was a pilgrim until a few moments ago, but who has just now dragged himself up to the lip of the basin in utter dejection.
Hey, young fella, campfire's over here. I've got liquor to warm up your insides and some fresh grilled meat. Get a little of that in your stomach and you'll have the strength to make it down to the village.
The man now makes his living as master of the tea house by the waterfall. Of course, pilgrims undergoing austerities carry no money with them, and the man is not expecting to become rich doing this work. The body is chilled by long hours of pounding under the waterfall. He provides a warming fire, food and drink, and sometimes even money to tide them over when they first go down to the village. Payment can be made at any time. The men can bring him the money after they have started to take in earnings again from jobs they find in the secular world. He sets no date for a payment. He takes no IOUs. He says he is fine with that.
Aren't there some who don't pay at all? Kime asks. Of course there are, the man says matter-of-factly. But I think of my running this tea house as another kind of discipline for myself.
Another kind of discipline?
That's right. The stones of heaven will accept only the strongest pilgrims, the ones unperturbed by anything. The role I want to play is to accept the ones who were broken by the stones of heaven, the weak human beings. I want to go on accepting the weakest of the weak, the kind who not only succumb to the stones of heaven, but who even fail to pay for their food and drink afterwards.
And that is your kind of discipline?
Exactly. It makes for a hard living, that's for sure. I thought I was prepared to deal with cheats and weaklings, but there are a lot more of those than I ever bargained for,
he declares with a hearty laugh. But then he quickly turns serious and says,
To tell you the truth, I think of this less as a form of discipline than as a way to get even.
Get even? With whom?
With those gods or whatever they are that keep hurling down their stones of heaven. Human beings are weak, shockingly so, in the eyes of a god, but I think, this is not just because of what happened to me, that being weak is the best thing about human beings. Weakness can make us cunning, but it can also make us kind. Weakness can torment us, but it can just as easily be our salvation. Don't you see? If the gods are hurling down their stones of heaven just to make people aware of their own weakness, just to make us savor our own powerlessness, then I'd just as soon drop my trousers and moon them. I'll slap my bare butt and say to them, I'm not like you. I'm not going to punish human beings for being weak. I accept them for what they are, weaknesses and all.
The man feeds a new piece of kindling to the fire and says with a shy shrug,
I guess I got carried away.
Kime smiles and shakes his head as if to say, not at all.
Tell me though, the man goes on, I see you are a traveller, but you don't seem to be a pilgrim.
You're right, I'm not, Kime says. I was trying to cross over the pass and took the wrong road.
Well then, as long as you're here, why not give the stones of heaven a try? It'll be something to talk about.
No thanks, Kime says, smiling.
What's the matter? Afraid they're going to show you whatever it is that shakes you up?
The man smiles and nods.
Can't say I blame you, though.
The man is mistaken about Kime. He is not the least bit afraid of such a thing. What scares him is the opposite prospect, that of not being shaken up, of encountering in himself a person unmoved by anything at all.
Anyway, it would be suicide to jump into the waterfall without preparation.
How's that?
It's freezing cold for one thing. There's even colder water bubbling up from the spring in the basin. Even the most well-conditioned person has to be careful and take the time to accustom himself to the low temperature. You go in all at once, it can stop your heart.
The man jerks his chin in the direction of the falls as if to say, look at them.
Two new pilgrims are preparing themselves for the challenge of the Stone of Heaven. Blech. Blech. Can't read. Two new pilgrims are preparing themselves for the challenge of the Stones of Heaven. The men appear to be brothers. The older one kneels at the edge of the basin, splashing himself and massaging the cold water into his skin from foot to heart level. The younger brother is too impatient for that. He wants to jump right onto the falls. The older brother cautions him and takes all the time he needs to accustom himself to the water's coldness. He exudes the quiet power of one who has withstood the most rigorous training. Ah, the tea house owner says to Kime, smiling. We're in for a rare privilege. I think we're about to see the first successful attempt in a long while. You can tell? Kime asks. You can if you spend as much time here as I have. The winners and losers are decided before the men ever step under the falls. Having completed his meticulous preparations, the older brother enters the basin. Even then, the steps he takes are slow and cautious. The younger brother follows him in, kicking up a spray with every step. The younger one is hopeless, says the man with a sigh, adding another stick to kindling to the fire. I'd better get the liquor ready now, he mutters to himself. The brothers stand side by side beneath the pounding waterfall. The stones of heaven rain down upon them. As the man predicted, the older brother, utterly calm, stands up to the onslaught of images sent by the stones of heaven. Also, as the man predicted, the younger brother yields to the stones of heavens and is beaten down into the basin of the waterfall. But then, something happens that goes far beyond what the man predicted. Writhing in agony, the younger brother bobs helplessly in the basin, unable to raise himself. He is drowning. He tears at his own chest. His heart is failing. He was not fully prepared to enter the icy water. Help me, brother, please! But the older brother doesn't move. He remains under the waterfall in total concentration. Hey, what are you doing there? Hurry up and help him! The man yells, but the older brother's expression remains unchanged. He never flinches. He's drowning. You can't just leave him like that. He'll die. The older brother never moves. He grits his teeth, keeps his eyes clamped shut, and shows no sign of moving out from under the waterfall, as if to declare, this is it. This is the final test of the stones of heaven. The man screams at him, You idiot! And dives into the rolling basin in a rash effort to help the younger brother. For the moment his untrained body hits the frigid water, the shock of it seizes his heart. Still, he reaches out towards the drowning brother, who is sinking beneath the surface. A great shudder goes through him, and with an enormous groan, he takes hold of the young man's wrist and pulls his limp body towards him. He tries to return to the shore, but his strength gives out, and he falls back into the water. Next, it is Kime's turn to dive into the basin beneath the falls. He takes hold of the two unconscious men and drags them towards the shore. The stones of heaven pour down on Kime, and he is assaulted by one vision after another. Battlefields, scenes from his wanderings, shooting stars, the climbing and sinking sun, raging winds, and countless deaths of those he has come to know on the road of his all too long life. It will do you no good, he silently declares to the gods hurling the stones of heaven at him. My heart remains unmoved. I've lived through a reality far crueler than any phantom you can show me. Whether or not his life is a sign of his strength, he does not know. He will not boast of it, nor will he tell the tale to others. He has, however, lived it. That much is certain. He has lived it through the years. Kime climbs onto the shore and lays the limp bodies of the tea-house master and the younger brother beside the fire. As he warms himself, he thinks, the gods who hurl the stones of heaven are inferior gods. If they could truly see into everything, they would never have been foolish enough to show Kime scenes from his past. Well, what would disturb him most of all would be the unwelcome sight of moments on his own limitless future.
And if they were to ask him one simple question, for what purpose were you born? His knees would buckle in an instant. The first to regain consciousness is the young pilgrim. The tea house master's condition is critical. Time attempts to warm him and massage his clenched heart. Have little effect. Blech. Pull yourself together now. Look, we've got a fire here. The fire you built. Let it warm you. Time shouts into his ear, until the man finally manages to force his eyes open, crack, and move his purple lips. Is he alright? Sure, he's fine. Don't worry. Oh, good. Pull yourself together, man. Tell me, though. Strength the same as coldness. Never mind, stop talking. Because if that is true, if strength is coldness, I don't want any part of it. The man gives Kaim a faint smile and closes his eyes. He will never open them again. Human beings are weak and fragile. All it takes for a person to die is for a fist-sized organ to stop beating. Human kindness, on the other hand, may derive from everyone's profound awareness of the fragility of life. Facing the tea house master's lifeless corpse, the younger brother hangs his head and cries. This weak man, defeated by the stones of heaven, sheds heartfelt tears for the man who saved his life. His strong elder brother, meanwhile, is still being pounded by the waterfall, unfazed by the stones of heaven. Surely his strength will be recognized by the gods, and he will bring his ascetic training to perfect completion. Still, Kaim finds the tear-stained face of the younger brother beautiful. In a way, the stronger elder brothers can never be, and he wishes that he himself could be moved like the younger man. There was an unmatched nobility in the last smile of the tea house master, who gave up his life to save that of a complete stranger. Kaim wishes that he too could experience such feelings. And what of my own face? Living through 1,000 years of life is not strength, yet, burdened with a life he cannot lose, will Kaim ever be able to change weakness into kindness? This he cannot tell. He can only live, unknowingly. He can only walk on. He can only continue his journey. Kaim looks at his reflection in the basin of the waterfall. On the water's heaving surface he sees the trembling face of a lonely wanderer. The end. There's something bright and refreshing about an open fire. Look at the shadows it's making. Mesmerizing, isn't it? Sorry, I've given out all the food I have. I'll have some more soon enough, so wait just a bit longer. Oh, well, that was depressing. Hang on, I think I've seen you somewhere before. Now, who are you again? Are you guys headed for Concert City by any chance? I'm looking for someone to deliver a letter to my mother in Lowtown. My mum's always been so stubborn. She's getting on in years, but I know she's still holed up in town. She used to yell at me every day. I live there. Ran away from home a while ago, so I'm sure my mum is worried sick about me. Would you do this for me? Sure. Thanks. Her name is Sanya, and she's in Lowtown. I'm counting on you. The food. Oh, you were too late. It's all right. I know how tough it can be fighting for food. Besides, it won't kill me to miss one meal.
Where's that? Okay. East maybe better. Do. Alright. Oh, this guy's mother be. I'm gonna end up talking to everyone, aren't I? It's too dangerous to leave town right now. Ice monsters are everywhere. And besides, you'll freeze to death. This road used to lead to the old part of town, but the ice has blocked it off now. So our king has passed away. I suppose this marks the end of Goatsa then. What do you think is going on now in Middletown? I can't even go up there to find out, from what I hear. Oh my, this letter's from my son. He hasn't contacted us once since he left. To be honest, I'd given up hope on him. So he's doing well, I see. I've been so worried about him. Please tell that troublemaker to come home soon. Just don't rush him. It's dangerous right now. Anyway, thank you for delivering this letter. Here's a little something for you. All the items. Think further down here. Nope, nope, just blocked off. Okay. Is there anything else? Oh, I can actually get him food? Oh, Do. Just got to be fast enough, okay. Out, food distribution, what's the matter? Hat feelings, cut in place, yep. Come and get it. How was I... What do I get for this anyway? Seed. Okay. Really actually do this in time? Just, yeah. This is annoying. This is not worth it. I should probably properly look through this darn cave, shouldn't I? Well, I didn't actually go everywhere down here. Figure that one out. I hate this slow movement. I don't think so. Right there. Had to check. We're taking some damage from that. No damage. No real damage.
Let's just stay calm.
Yes.
Wasn't even near my level.
Time Seth said so. Yeah, Reckon that would be the case. Equip. Line up for segment. Is the mirroring for line art. Wait, no, wait, right, no, yes. Ugh, attention. Changed the wrong fucking thing, didn't I? Too many things there now. British learning double SP. Yep. Okay. Confidence again. Right, nothing. Okay. I had to check.
Let's take him now.
It's not in my nature to lose.
Timing, Sarah.
Keeping track of everyone's a pain in the butt. That is a fucking good skill. Depending on the amount you get. Cook. Ding ding ding. Heal everyone. Back. Just that chest up there that I got. Never really looked at this game, did I? I just went right for it. Okay.
Let's take him down. Hey, not bad for a young punk.
Ming.
Looks like we have to fight.
It's really going to be painful later when I actually need to make an effort again.
It's not in my nature to lose.
Seth and Ming.
It's important. Sort of. Not exactly how important it is when I use the damn thing later. Those are not worth it. Can I even get up there? Seems like I can. What's through here?
I'm always ready.
Mad at these goddamn things. Ow! Comedy. These things can actually damage me.
I can't afford to lose.
Wrong thing. Wrong heal. Well, heal us. Yep. Criminy, why take off so much fucking HP? Nothing. Oh. Ah, yes, this room. Alright. Over there.
Better say your prayers.
Yeah, I should have just got everything first time I came through this cave.
young punk.
Why did you unmute yourself? Come on, Sarah. Search. Yeah, I did. I had to close off the poison there, didn't I? Of course I did. Aye. I did. I already looked everywhere around here. Right. Next area. Jump.
Let's take him now. Not even near my limit.
Oh, Sif down double speed, good. I'm Sifning, probably others. Am I doing this while they're standing in poison? Seems awfully ill thought out. Get rid of 2 accessories now as well, can't I? Where are you? Double SP. Ah, there's a seal here. Nice. just in case there was a fight. Right, I've already been around the top, so... that done. I think that actually might have been that's poison room. So that actually might be everything.
Better say your prayers.
Oh, this will work. So much damage. Wow. Actually fucking killed me. Be impressed if that didn't piss me off.
It appears I've still got a lot to learn.
Bing. I thought I just opened the menu in the bloody battle then. It's Ming, right? Yep. Just a question. Oh, hang on, like a character-specific thing. Yeah, there's a multi-bearer on it. Which she already has, because she got it from him. Why would he need it? Not gonna question it. I know I didn't. That almost be done with this by now. Opening 0. It's annoying because Kime would have learned double SP now as well. Nothing. Yep, all of them. Skills. Set. No, not set, it's link, isn't it? Right, she has learned ultimate analysis, okay. Get back to work on double gold. I mean, he's like one battle away. The exit, right? Yep. Well, entrance, I suppose, would be more correct. Okie doke, that's that little backtrack done. Right. Okay. What's that badge? Apparently a bunch of fucking items I can get. Okay, this is going to be annoying. Still gonna look everywhere because I should. Keep my eyes out for bubbles. Giant ass chunk of fucking ice. Suppose I should be glad I can see him from a distance. It should also be glad there's no random battles underwater. Not that there really could be. Bubbles. That's right, okay. Always good to check. Bubbles. Yep, not gonna let me squeeze in there. Okay. Fine. Just gonna squeeze in here.
Have you done the backyard in Gonzo City?
I don't know. Although, considering Gonzo City is now a frozen wasteland. Nothing around here, okay. Can't go through that yet. bubbles. Just miss them. Hole in the wall. Where do you go? Terrace cave. Shit. Bubbles. I think that should pretty much be everything. Yes, of course, and it's entirely possible there is something out in the middle of friggin' nowhere. How do I open the... Nope. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Do. Okay, what else can I do now? How do I... I'm sure there was a... Okay. There is treasure information at Oha. Where the heck is you? At the gate. Okay. I really should have done this earlier on. Much easier to find stuff. They say King Gongora has a secret chamber someplace where he conducts his experiments with magic. I have a friend with a few underground connections, but he told me that Gongora got to have some kind of treasure inside there. Haven't heard from the guy lately though. Probably got too hot for him in the city, if you know what I mean. Doubt he actually tried sneaking into that room, but... Why am I broken? Take the cab. Probably checked if there was anything else at the gate first. Oh. This is where King Gongora lived before ascending to the throne. He's gone now, of course, and the place seems to be empty. Well, I suppose there's no stopping you from trying to get in. Oh, go ahead. You guys aren't just another bunch of tourists, after all. I'm sure you can hold your own against whatever you run into. Nice way of saying there are monsters in it. Should I be in here yet? Really freaking wish I saved before I came in here. Should leave and save. Should leave and save. I should leave and save. I should not keep going in.
Out of my way.
smartest thing I could have done. Okay, they can actually do damage.
Level heads win battles.
Kind Ming Sarah. Mm-mm-mm. I should actually come back later. It says to leave this place.
Come on, let's see what you got.
Oh, fucking annoying. Just go before everything else, that'd be really helpful. No. One thing I didn't fucking want it to do. Goes and fucking does it, of course. Fucking not do that, can you? No. That's a fucking piece of shit. Wait for you turns out. Dear God, get away. Oh, son of a bitch. Of course, the worst fucking thing that could happen happened. How far ago was the last checkpoint? Yep. Before or after I did the fucking quest. Oh my god. Fucking piece of shit. Ugh. Or even rearrange the goddamn party.
The anti-petrify ring.
Hey! I didn't know they had petrify till that fight. So... there's that. Yeah. Do everything all over again. Bloody do that dungeon again, get every fucking thing again, do all the bloody skills again. Jesus Christ, that's so much fucking work. Doesn't matter. Petrifying is what fucked me over anyway, so... all got burned up with me again. It's just terrible.
They have all ailments attacks. You just so happen to get that only. Very unlucky.
Was. Just not do that, could it? No, that'd be too fucking. Else you're not using anything, are you? Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Knew I should have gone out and fucking saved before I even went into the goddamn cave, but no. Just walking into the cave, looking like a moron.
You used your seeds for the immortals.
Yes. That's why they have so many of the damn things. Ugh, gonna have to do every goddamn thing again. Like 2 hours of work. Fucking gone.
It about many.
Come on, come on. So,
Each can carry 40-ish.
Let's take him now.
these aren't the enemies I want, game.
Wasn't even near my level.
Mm-hmm. Come on, give me the enemies.
Let your guard down, eh?
Okey-doke. Kind of. Come on, cry. You're meant to cry for help, you little shit. Oh. Oh, you're really not gonna do it, are you? Oh, that is just annoying. That's it, killing you. You asked for it.
future to lose.
This has to be before I did the fucking fight, because party wasn't rearranged. And I definitely don't have its claw, so... Come on. Ugh, this game does not want to give me fights when I need to fight. Come on, give me the good dinosaur-looking enemies. So I can summon the monster I need to kill.
If it's a fight you want, you got it.
Now the game's being a pain in the butt. Not bad enough that you're freaking going and kill me.
That was close.
No, you're just not gonna give me the freaking... First time. Yeah, gave me the fight. Kept summoning until the monster I needed to kill showed up. Right away.
Let's
This
just stay
time,
calm.
no. Like freaking pain.
Only the strong survive.
To go all the way back from that freaking cave again. The...
Hey, take the initiative, I always say.
Oh, you just will not give me the enemy group, will you?
That was close.
Come on, give me the dinosaur-looking enemies.
I'm always ready.
See, now the game's just fucking with me. Ugh.
It's not in my nature to lose.
Could have just not gone into that dungeon, couldn't I? Just stayed out. Planned my assault better. Actually set up for things. But no, I just had to run in there like an idiot. Most annoying part is I was actually leaving the damn place. Ugh, my God almighty, give me the correct fucking enemy group.
That was close.
The only plus side to this is this lot of losing fucking skills as I'm doing this, but still, it's annoying.
What?
Hey, finally. Be fast. Right, type help. You
It's not in my nature to lose.
The game is fucking trolling me. It has to be.
Leave the damn area. Seriously, why couldn't it just checkpoint into me going into that dungeon? That would be fucking more sensible than this. This is definitely from before I finished the quest. Has to be. Yes, because the memories are reset. I can tell by all the people hanging outside the doctor's office. Yep, how's the monster saying creature? Yep. It's still asking me to do a mission, so it has to be before. So the game is just messing with me to piss me off, and it's frickin' working. Ugh. Three out. 2 hours of work. Just gone. Now the game's being a little shit. Okay then.
You want to fight or what?
If you didn't hit the damn thing then. Ah, finally. There he is. Okay. Time to murder him. Oh, that took a god damn annoying amount of time.
What a waste of time.
Sifting Sarah. Ugh, anyway. Rest of my day is going to be redoing everything I just did earlier. Yay! Wonderful! Hooray! Ugh.
This is a key lesson in why you should save often. Anyway, since I'm just going to be retreading ground I've already trod, I will do this off stream, because it will just be less annoying that way. Re-grab all the items, everything. Get back to the City Gate. And we'll continue from there tomorrow. For now, though, bye.